Renting to own your home. Is it a smart idea? We're going to talk about it on Today in Mortgages. Hey, what's up, Dreammakers? Welcome back to the show where we're talking about what's real, what's hype, and what you should actually be paying attention to out there in the world of mortgage and real estate news. It's Today in Mortgages. I got Rich Jefferson back with me today to talk about rent to own homes. Rich, this is a new concept for me.
Yeah, rent to own. Well, it's not, and this is not new. Most people may know it as a lease with a purchase option, but it's not new. It's been going on for a long time.
That's
Yeah.
interesting, Rich. I mean, I know about leased vehicles. I'm told by financial gurus that it's a bad idea, but I'm interested to know more about this. And the reason we're bringing it up is I saw a few articles about this over the weekend talking about this as a rising trend in the marketplace due to some of the things that we've been talking about, obviously high interest rates, high purchase prices. So people are looking to this option as maybe a stepping stone to home ownership. So, Rich, let's just start. Make me smart on how this works.
It's essentially exactly what it is. You're renting now so that you can own it later. So the nice thing about rent to own is you negotiate your purchase price today. So you've got your rental payments and you want a purchase option, you negotiate that price today. So in terms of when we're in markets where everything is appreciating and home sales are, increasing, the sales prices are increasing, you're locking it in, your purchase price. And a portion of your payment goes into an escrow account, which helps you build your down payment. So that's what's a true rent to own scenario.
Rich, if I'm doing this as a tenant, is that an agreement that I have just with the landlord that I'm going to purchase that? And maybe it's seller finance, or is this an agreement with an actual lender?
No, this is an agreement with the owner of the property. So they'll go into this agreement, they'll establish an escrow account so that you could track your money. Now, the difference on a rent to own, if you decide, let's say you're relocated for work and you're like, oh, I just rent, so no big deal. So you go and you get another property in another state, you leave that property, you lose all of that savings that
Hmm.
they were putting into escrow, a portion of your payment, you lose that. So that's one of the downsides. It's flexible. You can leave if you need to, but you do leave something behind if you don't move forward with the purchase.
And if I get to the end of that agreement with the landlord, Rich, how do I then convert that? Is there a financing that goes through a lender? How does that work?
Yeah. Then it's just a regular purchase.
Okay.
So you're just purchasing it from them. They're the sellers. There's an escrow account. You've got a lease agreement that steps out the exact amounts of your monthly payment that are being put into that account so that you can source that account as your money when you want to use it as a down payment or for closing costs for the mortgage or whatever it might be. But that's your money.
Taking all that into account in regards to how people in our industry should be talking to potential buyers about the idea of a rent to own home. How does that come up in conversation? How are we telling people to talk about that? Is it a good idea? Should buyers be doing that? What do you think?
Well, if they can afford to buy today, they should buy. They're negotiating the price today, just like they would on a rent to own
Mhm.
scenario. The only reason you would do it in a rent to own scenario is if you're uncertain where you're going to be in the next couple of years, whether you're going to be relocated with work or family or whatever it might be. But if you can afford to buy, just buy. You're negotiating that same price today anyway. You may as well just buy. But usually people doing rent to own, they've got some credit work that needs to be done. They need to do some saving. There's a lot of reasons why people would do a rent to own situation. It's just not right for everybody because a lot of these rent to own situations, it's not like a typical rent contract. On a rent to own, you actually provide the maintenance, you provide the upkeep, you fix repairs. Like the owner's not going to do that. So that's some of the downside of being a rent to own situation is you treat it like you own that property right now today as you're making your rent payments.
So you're taking on some of that burden of home ownership without the actual ownership in place right now. So that's super interesting, Rich. I appreciate you making me smart on this. And it sounds like this is something that people should be educated on if we're out there in the marketplace selling to buyers. All right. Thanks again, Rich, on making me smart on this. Everybody out there, Rich brings good information like this to our loan officers here in the network every day. If you're interested in knowing more about how you can be a part of the best network in mortgages, click the grow link below and we'll show you what it looks like to be inside the network. Rich, before we sign off today, do you have any final words on this idea of renting to own?
It's not for everybody. When it comes, your purchase option comes due, then make sure you qualify. So talk to a mortgage person for sure.
And if you're a mortgage professional out there and you're talking to your borrowers and your buyers about that, make sure that you know how to explain this to them to make sure that you're coaching them in the right direction to help them succeed and get into the home that they want. Rich, thanks so much again for hanging out with us today. Thank you all out there for listening and watching, and we'll see you next time on Today in Mortgages. Today in Mortgages is produced by Network Funding LP, which is an equal housing lender, NMLS 2297. The content of this program is meant to be a commentary on mortgage and real estate news, and any discussion of rates and or products should not be taken as an individual mortgage or home buying advice or pricing estimates. And any commentary on this show should not be considered a promise to make a loan. All applicants for a loan must qualify, and you should consult a professional regarding your individual loan scenarios for your financial situation. Visit our website at nflp.com/licenses for all state licensing and other legal information.